G'day fellas, welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, where we get to witness the legend himself, the man, the myth. It is Give You Anxiety, spawning in the north of the map, playing his world-famous English. In Age of Empires 3, he played the British. In Age of Empires 2, he probably played the British, aka the English. In Age of Empires 4, he's back to the English, as you would expect. And heading out into the center of the map that we're playing on today is Altai. We'll reveal the map for you so you can have a look and see exactly the way that it spawns. You can see we've got these 3 sacred sites that spawn very evenly in the center of the map. Very balanced, I would say. Spawning in the south of the map, though, is the opponent of Give You Anxiety. Going to be a little bit more of a difficult name for me to pronounce. So I'm just going to go ahead and call him Red. I guess you didn't expect that much, but yeah, we'll call him Red. See how he's doing. His scouting path is a little bit different from GUA. Obviously, GUA, on the other hand, if we take a look at his scouting path, going straight towards the middle, actually going to be meeting each other down here towards the south side of the map. Do they have Auto Scout turned on? Does Auto Scout go down towards the south of the map? Who knows? But nonetheless, I don't think either of them do. We're going to turn off the Fog of War so you guys can witness the map in all of its glory. One of the things to note, this map has been reworked recently. It's looking a lot better than what it used to. We'll do a little bit of analysis on just the gameplay of GUA. That's really what I'm going to be focusing on here, because for anybody unfamiliar with GUA, he really is one of the titans of the Age of Empires scene. He is just, yeah, like the whole family really, it just, you know, his brother Soldier is an absolute beast as well. For anybody who's watching this on YouTube, make sure you go and check out the link in the description. It's GUA's Twitch channel. He does stream live over on Twitch, and you'll get to see the man in the moment doing the magic. So, starting off, let's take a look at his build order, what he's done. He's dropped down this mill in the early game, as well as this lumber camp, but he's transitioned off the lumber camp, which is kind of, I wouldn't say weird, but you do sometimes see it. But over gathering about 9 wood there. Also quite heavily on this mining camp now. 5 villagers on gold, and then got a bunch of villagers here that are just going to be gathering up the deer. Keep in mind, this is a British mirror, or rather an English mirror, so I'm expecting that even though we do see players that are potentially going to be going for longbows, ideally it's probably going to be men-at-arms that are going to be winning the day here. So I'd be curious to see how effective GUA is with his micro, and whether he can get ahead of Red and going to be able to deal with him effectively. We'll take a look down at Red's base and actually see that Red is aging up already, going with the Council Hall in the early game. So getting this one down nice and early. You can see it's 2 minutes 50 and the Council Hall's already on the way up. Just a single villager building it, so not too fast about getting that one up super duper fast. Obviously, you don't spawn particularly close to your enemy here. You can see that there's quite a way away from your enemy, so plenty of space between it. So not a real rush for him to sort of get that one up. But GUA, on the other hand, about to hit that age up as well. Going to be dropping down, I could only suspect it would be the Council Hall, and indeed it is the Council Hall. 3 villagers going to be tapping that one away. And macro is definitely looking on point for GUA. Look at that. Look at that, how tight that is right there. Absolute perfection on GUA's part. He has practiced this build order. You see the villagers now being transitioned over to wood. I'm curious to see how this game is going to unfold, because GUA, as you guys know, he's an absolute beast. He's the multitasker, the man himself. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can pull out with the English in Age of Empires 4. Scouting up towards the north of the map. Look at all the sheep he's managed to pick up as well. Definitely out-scouting his opponent. We'll take a look at the map revealed and just how much he's revealed. So probably at this point revealed about 60% of the map. We'll take a look at his opponent, who has revealed a similar amount of the map. Definitely scouted different parts. And look at this, stealing sheep from right under Give You Anxiety's nose. These sheep were right outside his gold mine, and he's just picked up 2 of them right now. GUA didn't actually uncover these sheep. They were just sitting on top of the hill, and very unfortunate for him. The scout now moves around the north side of the base. We see that Red's actually doing a pretty decent job of evading the British colony towards the north. We'll take a look down at his base and see what he's got in store for us. It doesn't look like we've got any barracks up at this stage, so both players potentially looking at just opening longbows. I'm curious to see who's going to be the aggressor here, because we do have Red, who's only got 2 villages on the landmark at this stage. Age up looking like it's going to be around the 5-minute mark. We'll take a look at GUA, on the other hand. He's only got 2 on the Wonder as well, so going to be a little bit later, maybe 5-10 age up. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how well he goes, but you can see he's quite heavily on gold at this point, and that's one of the curious things to note with this build order, how heavily he is on gold. Getting the wheelbarrow upgrade in the transition period as well. One of the things I would love to see from the developers is have an option up here to see the incoming upgrades. I would love that ability. I'd love to be able to see, oh, you know, GUA's got Wheelbarrow coming in. We can see that Red's got, you know, the hunting upgrade, all that kind of stuff. That'd be really cool to see. And, you know, units that were under construction or buildings under construction, that'd be really cool as well. So let's take a look and spot what GUA does now that he's reached the second age. He's focused very heavily on food and gold. I suspect we may have a fast castle coming out here. I suspect we may have a fast castle that is on the way. You can just tell from, you know, you can tell by the man just looking at him. He's the kind of guy who loves to go for a little bit of a fast castle. We'll take a look over at Red, though. We'll see what Red is up to. Red down towards the south of the map. Going to be dropping down an early second town center. This is very early in the game to be dropping this down. I'm impressed. This is prior to 6 minutes. GUA is going to be in for a bit of a difficult game here. It's, I guess it's always been a question of sort of the day, you know? Do you go for tech or do you go for economics? I was going to say economy, but I think I switched it halfway to be economics, so it just kind of worked out to be economy. But nonetheless, with GUA going for that tech, let's take a look and see how his macro is looking. About halfway with regard to food, but obviously he's picked up Wheelbarrow. That's going to be helping him get that food in. Typically, your food does gather a little bit slower. It takes a little bit longer for it to be rewarding, just primarily because the way that Deer works. You can see just how much food that some of these villages are carrying. So this one is up to 19, 20 food. So really takes a while before they actually drop it off. He's actually got both of the hunting upgrades. So he's got the Wheelbarrow as well as the hunter. I think it's called survival techniques. Going to be going for professional scouts as well, GUA is. So, going to be looking at potentially bringing in hunts from around the map. We'll take a look and see exactly what that does. So, scouts gain the ability to carry animal carcasses and 200% damage against wild animals. So, wild animals are those animals that he's just run into down here. You can see he's having a bit of a difficult time with him. It's not really too much of an issue. It's just kind of more annoying than anything at this point. So, it's a little bit frustrating. So, that is a bitey infantry, apparently. We just clicked on him. Said bitey infantry. I'm not sure if there's any more wolves down here that we can click on. And I can show you guys. Here we go. Here's another one. Bitey infantry. So that is technically the class that they are. But now you see GUA with the scout has got a little bit of a friend on the back. Now, one of the interesting things to note in Age of Empires 4, there's no blood in the game, right? Because they have to keep the raiding as, you know, as family friendly as possible. Okay, there's no blood, but there's literally skinned carcasses going back to the town center on the back of a horse. So you're telling me that I'm not allowed to have blood, but I'm allowed to literally have that? Like, that is absurd. That is, look at that thing. I don't want to touch that. Anyway, GUA is going to continue heading down towards this hunt and doing a great job, really. Like, you take a look at the map that he has uncovered right now. Really uncovering almost all of it. So he's going to be aware of this hunt. He's going to be aware of this hunt down here as well. And just going to continue retrieving, rather, the hunts down here to the south. And now we've got a bit of a longbow raid up towards the north. GUA in a bit of a difficult spot, losing villagers. That's 4 villagers going down for GUA. 5th villager going to be going down, all on wood. He has aged up. He's got the King's Palace going up. So it's going to be his second town center. But really, a lot of pressure now going to be coming out from Red. Doing a great job of just coming around here to the north. It looks like a deer carcass has gone up here to the north. It still just remains there. A new age begins as GUA enters the 3rd age. Now, one of the things to note, okay, GUA here has got the King's Palace. Now, the King's Palace is a little bit different from the normal town center. It's got slightly more health, and it is slightly stronger. But now we see more and more longbowmen moving in, looking to potentially take shots at villagers, but just getting absolutely wrecked there. We see just how much damage was coming out on those longbows. We take a look over at Red. Let's see exactly what he's up to from his perspective. So Red is up to 40 villagers at the moment, so really getting a bit of a boom going. Doesn't look like he's got an age up in queue at this stage. We'll continue checking. Nothing at all. But looking like he's macroing towards that age up. Really focusing on his economy. 42 villagers and taking out 5 of GUAs. He's going to be in a decent spot here and picking out a couple of the longbows. But now he's going to be in a difficult spot because we see some planks going down. I want to say planks, some palings going down. And the knight is going to be having a bit of a field day here. You see him just occasionally pull out that giant lance. Villager almost going down right there. You see the town center just firing off all those arrows as well. GUA in a bit of a difficult spot here because there's no other secondary gold mine that he's really got access to. It's mainly this gold mine that's up towards the east of his base. And the next safest one would be this one all the way back here. 4,000 gold on that bad boy. A single knight going to be able to chase these longbows away. So not too bad of a fast castle there from GUA. Definitely a lack of pressure from Red when he came in. He definitely could have come in a lot early. I like to see players push out with just a single longbow and really force the enemy off those resources. If instead of him coming in with 9 longbows or 10 longbows, he'd just come in with 1 longbow, GUA would have been in a very difficult position because he wouldn't have been aged up just yet, and he would have needed resources to age up, and you would have been able to force him off that. He would have been constantly ahead when it came to longbow numbers, so it would have been a difficult fight for him to be taking. Red going to be heading on the way up. He's got a barracks coming down now. It doesn't look like we've got any wonder out from him just yet. And now the knights are running in. Knights going to be having a field day here. Some villagers underneath this tower that's trying to get up, or outpost rather. And we take a look at the villagers here, just how much of a difficult time they're having. The knights, though, just deciding instead to charge onto the longbowmen, that tower, or the outpost rather, getting up. But the villagers still stay tucked underneath. You can't actually see how much damage the outpost does. I've got no idea how much it does. I've never worked that out because every time you click on it when there's villagers gathered inside, or garrisoned inside rather, it just shows you those garrisoned villagers. Now GUA going to be finding a scout of his opponent out here towards the west of the map. Nothing too exciting, but continuing to lure in or to hunt rather these huntable deers. Let's see. He does actually one-shot the deer, and so he's shot it. He's got it on the back, and he's got to slowly bring it in. But his opponent has begun to collect deer of his own. He's got another hunt just north of his position, which is quite close by. So definitely a decent amount of food for him to still go. When it comes to the map, though, there's really not too much else in the way of food. I mean, you've got that one hunt that you started off with. There's this one hunt down here to the south. And then your enemy's got this one hunt that they're going to use. And this hunt has spawned really close to the enemy. Like, incredibly close when you consider GUA's second farm. Or second hunt. Actually, it's not that far, I guess. It's separated by here as well. You know what? I'll call it relatively even. GUA looking now towards the opponent's base and going to be sending in a horseman. You can see just how strong the British villagers or the English villagers are. Going to be dealing with that horseman all by themselves, but multiple raids coming in from multiple angles. We're going to turn on the fog of war and just spot how many times GUA attacks the enemy, just multitasking everywhere. The multitask is back. This time, instead of longbows in the back of the base, there's knights in the back of the base, and now we've got a Wallalol happening. The scout is going to be getting converted over to the way of GUA, and you just see it vanishes right there. We take a look over at GUA's perspective. He's picked himself up a free scout. That was amazing. I love that. It was just like, it vanished completely. It was like, gone. Boop. It was like it had been picked off by an alien. We unreveal the map and see just the amount of multitasking that GUA is managing to pull out right now. This is big. This is big, and GUA beginning to steal his opponent's hunts. This is what he is known for. When he plays the English, it is all about gathering that food, making sure that you've got a secure food source, and he continues to secure that hunt even more, taking out his opponent's hunt. I'm curious to see whether we do potentially see him expand out to this boar in the middle of the base, or in the middle of the map rather, but now he's got a knight on the back line. I don't think he's going to be taking down this villager. It's very close. He does actually manage to get it down before being taken out by the villagers, the other villagers rather, and now on the front line, GUA going to be trying his best to take out more and more veteran longbowmen. Now, keep in mind, they're going to have a difficult job up against these knights. Ideally, you want to be using pikes, spears, or even potentially crossbows. Crossbows are going to be particularly effective against these units. We take a look at, he's got access to the White Tower down here. I don't know if I necessarily agree with going the White Tower in that position. Doesn't really feel like you're going to get a lot of value out of it. But I guess at the end of the day, he's already gone for the second town center, so he's got quite a big economy. But as you can see, he's got access to the crossbow, which is very effective against armored units, and the Lancer or the Knight is an armored unit. So, going to be dropping down a blacksmith now, getting his first upgrades. We're at the 14-minute mark, so Red a little bit slow on the upgrades. We'll check in with Give You Anxiety. We'll see how he's doing, whether he's got any of those upgrades in just yet. He's got a monastery down, so not doing too bad, but it doesn't look like he's got too much in... Do we have a blacksmith out yet from GUA? I don't actually see a blacksmith. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. I should have known not to doubt GUA. I should have known. He is ahead of the game when it comes to these upgrades. You can see he's got multiple upgrades on the way right now. Going to be capturing some sacred sites down towards the south as well. Does he have any relics? Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, there's 2 relics now that he's captured. So that's going to be taking him up to 200 gold a minute. There are more relics towards the north of the map. He's got a relic up here. a relic over here they could potentially steal. Has he scouted this one out? Let's take a look. He has scouted this one out, so he does know that it is here. And another relic. So plenty of relics for him to be taking. I'm curious to see whether his opponent's going to be looking to secure relics. We know that they've dropped the blacksmith, but no real investment into those religious tech lines. But now we see more villagers just slowly getting poked away at by GUA's continuous multitasking. Look at him absolutely everywhere on the map. He is just relentless in this. We take a look at the economy at the moment. GUA sitting on 63 villages. We compare that to his opponent, who's sitting on 65 at the moment. So very even in terms of economy. GUA looking very healthy right now. When it comes to total population, you can see GUA sitting up on 89, whereas his opponent on 81. So still relatively even with regard to population. And when it comes to upgrades, GUA slightly ahead. Now we've got a Mangonel coming out. This is where things get real. Mangonel unfolding. Looks like it did a little bit of an overthrow there, firing on the backline. You can see the split coming in right now from Red. Looking amazing. We can really see the pikes focusing down the Mangonel, and Mangonel just absolutely gets wrecked. And the Longbows actually dropping down this little fire camp ability that you see. You can see them all healing up. That is because of this fire camp ability that has been researched from the archery range. So we're doing a great job there, Red, of just avoiding... avoiding death, I would say, is probably the best way to say it with that Mangonel. You come very close in your life to death when you do come across a Mangonel, and it's rare that men live to tell the tale if they're that closely bunched together. Continuing to move down towards the south of the map. Looks like the Sacred Side's going to be potentially under attack here. GUA doing his best to potentially defend it. His units are moving out across the map. I don't think he actually realizes that it's going to be happening, but Sacred Side in the middle is a potential threat. And it's curious to note exactly how fast these Mangonels burn down. 240 HP. It's not a lot of HP, so you've got to really try and protect them. You can see the way that GUA is playing. He's got to be careful. His knights are in here, having a bit of a tough time with the pikes. These are upgraded pikes. You can tell because... upgraded spears, rather. Because they've got these differently shaped pikes or spears on the end. But now going to be focusing down the Mangonel. Does the Mangonel go down? It looks like... Oh, my lord, how great. Did you guys see the way that he fell there? Mangonel getting off a shot down towards the Longbowmen over on the hill, but the Longbowmen going to be doing their best to take out the Mangonel. Only 2 damage a shot, but it's going to be enough for the Mangonel to go down. And I just can't get over the way that that gentleman fell. I'm surprised to see that we didn't see his body rolling down all the way down the hill. It just looked very, very fluid. But look at this beautiful split that we've got right here. He knows that he's under attack from this Mangonel, and we've just got absolutely amazing splits. Red is definitely not a player you want to underestimate. He's doing impressive work. GUA bringing out the villagers now, looking to potentially heal up this Mangonel in this push. He's got a Springald on the back as well, and that's exactly what we see. Mangonel getting healed up. I feel like it may have been a little bit too many villagers pulled, but villagers now getting picked off by Red. So GUA having a bit of a tough time on his hands, I would say. Nonetheless, he continues. Enemy neutralizing Sacred Site. So down towards the south, we've got a single unit in the Sacred Site, and that's going to be all we need to turn the tide on the Sacred Site. You can see you do not need to bring a monk down here to neutralize the Sacred Site. If you want to capture it, though, you will have to bring it down. And on the front, we've now got more siege that continues to go down. Just because these pikes, these spearmen, they get up nice and close, and they really just hurt. Take a look at the damage that they do. 16 with a plus 10 against siege. So they're doing 26 damage a pop on these bad boys. It is absolute insanity how much damage they are putting out right here. Look at the villagers, how quickly they're healing it up. You see that little plus sign? Oh my lord. It's an infinitely healing. Look at the Mangonel. Watch it go up. Is he going to heal it? Heal it, GUA. Heal it. GUA, heal it. Heal it, GUA. There. Oh my god, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Did you guys see how fast that goes up? That is ridiculous. Wow. Oh my lord. GUA managing to hold, though, with the epic heal right there. Gonna have a bit of a tough time because the multitask is getting multitasked against. Veteran Longbowmen, as well as the Spearmen, looking to potentially isolate some of these villages down here towards the south of GUA's base. We take a look from his perspective and spot just the multitasking that's coming out from his opponent right now. Focusing down this Mangonel and having a difficult time because these villagers are just out here having a great day. 75 HP on these villagers. They do have their upgrade from the town center. Normally, you'd expect to only have 50 HP on those villagers, but because GUA's got that upgrade, he's going to be doing extra fine. And Veteran Spearman now doing its best to just fall back, and GUA looking in a great position. I would say almost a commanding lead right now. Let's take a look at the score, not something that we always do. Red actually ahead by 400 at the moment, despite having a bit of a tempo loss. I would say that GUA's definitely got the tempo lead at the moment, but one thing to note is there's only Palisade walls up. These aren't the big boys. they're not particularly scary. So it means that he's going to be able to penetrate through here. Not going to have too much of an issue getting behind this into the base of his opponent. We'll take a look and see what his opponent's got on the way. Do we potentially see an age up here? I'm expecting that we're going to see an Imperial relatively soon out of these players. We'll take a look at the economy. We've got 90 economic population, and hear the beautiful sound of those mangonels popping off. GUA, on the other hand, 85 villages, so he's looking pretty healthily on his economy as well. I love that sound. Oh my lord, look at the range on that thing. Oh my god. They fire so fast. 9 range? I feel like it's 9 plus 1,000. Oh, that is a beautiful sound. I love that sound. I want to zoom in on that. Listen, listen. Oh, it's so good. That is such a great sound. I will say this. You know, for whatever your criticism is about Age of Empires 4, I respect your right to an opinion. But you do not have the right to criticize the sound in Age of Empires 4 because it is absolutely amazing. It is like... I think there still might be a bit of an echo that goes on with some of the voice lines. I can't hear it anymore if there is, so that goes away. Little bit of a difficult spot here for GUA. Doesn't have any villagers out here. Going to be potentially, or not repairing at all. This Mangonel going to be going down. Managing to get off a shot almost before it went down, but the Springald's just focusing down. Look at the damage that's coming out from the Springald's on the back line here, focusing down. Each of these men-at-arms doing 60 damage a shot for these guys. And look how much damage they do. They pop off, but GUA in a bit of a difficult spot. Longbows on the back line, beginning to mass up for his opponent. We take a look just how big this mass is. 12 longbowmen out right now for his opponent as he begins to repel this attack. GUA to the north as well, getting multitask, or rather, I should say, doing a little bit of multitasking himself, it seems. As the knights move around the north of the map, GUA going to be looking to penetrate the back of the base, and take a look at this. So much open, fertile ground to raid. It's looking pretty. Speaking of looking pretty, 46 villages at the moment on food for red. That is a lot of villages on food. I found as the English, I never needed more than 32. But, I mean, he's up to 47 villages now on food. That is a lot of villages. I think he needs a few more archery ranges. That's what he needs to do. Just send out, like, 8 villages right now into the middle of the map. Just drop down a whole bunch of archery ranges. Get the siege technology, siege engineering, and then just drop down a whole bunch of whatchamacallits? What are they called? Battering rams? I want to say battering rams. He's housed at the moment as well. Just really spend all these resources. You know, you've got enough resources right there for 5 barracks, 5 battering rams, and a whole bunch of longbows. So that's what you're going to be using those on. To the north of the map, it looks like he's cleaning up another sacred site. Look at this. Before the sacred site, or now the sacred site's going to get neutralized by those units. Doing a great job of neutralizing those sacred sites. GUA down towards the south of the map. Going to be continuing to hit away at the economy of his opponent. Let's see if he can out-multitask here. Got some veteran spearmen in here doing 11 with 18 bonus against cavalry. So really no trouble with these guys cleaning up cavalry. They just got to catch up. That's the whole thing. 1.25 movement speed versus 1.62. So significant difference. Bit of a fight now beginning to unfold in the center of the map as GUA forces himself on his opponent. Says, get out of my sacred site. That's my sacred site. But now holding the high ground. GUA, oh gosh, sorry. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Got some mangonels, got some mangoes on the back line. Let's see if he manages to get some decent shots here on the men-at-arms. Oh, look at that little shot going up into the air, firing them up and around over the top. But now we see the repairs coming out. Look at the repairs on these siege weapons. He's going to have a hard time breaking through. Let's see. He does manage to get one of the mangoes down. Second one getting focused down now. GUA unable to get down. We'll get the repair in on time. Third one going to be going down. GUA looking like he might be in a bit of a bad spot here because there are a lot of men-at-arms here pushing in with a tri-unit composition. We've got men-at-arms, we've got spearmen, and we've also got veteran longbowmen on the back here. The question is, how does the opponent siege this? There's not a lot of siege, but the main concern I've got right now, how is GUA actually going to get back into this game from this point? Because realistically, he is sitting right now, he's parked on top of his military production. I think this might be GG for GUA. I'm going to speed up the game ever so slightly because I'm sure you guys can see to the top right-hand corner of the map that we do have a timer and it is closing out. So I'm going to actually say right now, I think this one is going to get called against GUA. We see the town center going to be going down here, unfortunately for him. Fellas, once again, if you've enjoyed this game with GUA, make sure you head over to his Twitch. I'm going to leave a link down in the description. I want you to go over, leave him a follow. He's going to be streaming a lot of Age of Empires 4 when the game releases in any further beta, if there's any further betas, or if you're watching this on YouTube right now, maybe he's even streaming right now. So go over and check him out. I hope that you've enjoyed this game. I definitely have. I guess one of the curious things for me watching this game is seeing the power of the longbow against Siege. Throughout the game, we had GUA just constantly going for Siege, but one of the continuous things that we saw was that they were just so easily able to be chased down. And that's exactly what's happening here. Even though we've got Mangoes, they just don't seem to be as effective, as damaging to their opponents as you would expect to see in something like Age of Empires 2. And so really, it just tells the tale. The person who made the Siege lost the game, despite having even economies, despite doing a lot more effective raiding. And so the question is artillery worth it? Is Siege worth it? I don't know. After watching that game, I'd probably say no. GUA played incredibly well, but he lost it. Once again, fellas, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, and I will catch you guys in the next one.